Well, I don't mean to be dismissive of your question, but I mean, it should be obvious, but I guess you're asking because to some people it's not. You can't say the word spaz, you can't say it because in time, what we're seeing is this slow march. We're seeing this slow march where everything is sort of being eradicated, where we're dovetailing into this kind of territory of newspeak. Everybody familiar with George Orwell in 1984, that book where he talks about newspeak, where things that we could say in the past, are no longer applicable today. And even those who said things at the time that were acceptable, if they are unacceptable by modern day standards, they are being quote unquote canceled. We're going back years, we're going back decades, centuries even. So, you say he was talking about spaz, why, it's the First Amendment. Like I say, they're trying to, of course, come after the First Amendment. And, I hear a lot of people say, well, the First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason, because without the First Amendment, none of the other amendments would even be possible. And that's somewhat true. I don't necessarily say that the First Amendment is the first because, number one, means that it is the most important. But, of course, we think, kind of make me think of 1984 and George Orwell, we think in terms of words, right? So if you do not have the right to speak freely, then you can no longer think. Your thoughts are tied to free speech. And if speech is no longer free, then it is no longer thought.
That's fire.
You see, when Beyonce uses the term spaz, this is a total separate phenomenon, but it all ties in, right? Because now all of a sudden you have to think of whether any given concept, thing, there is always a thing that someone can claim ownership of. If I can get up and I can walk and I can run and I can speak and I can think, etc., then I'm able-bodied. Now, do I have privilege relative to someone who is disabled? I suppose I do. So you hear a lot of people talk about this white privilege shit. Well, you got able-bodied privilege, motherfucker. And since you got able-bodied privilege, you can't use words like spaz because someone else who suffers from seizures, I forgot the exact term that is connected with medically, but because they are not able-bodied like you are oppressing them with your able-bodied privilege. So y'all need to think about shit like that because they made Beyonce being. They made her being. This is Queen Bee. She's one of the most well-known, well-respected, revered pop stars in the past 30, however long she's been famous. The last 2 decades. This Beyonce. She apologized and made black female sexual. What are you saying? Well, she was white, they wouldn't have cared. Okay, I can hear y'all saying that bullshit now. But nevertheless, this is Beyonce. Because she had no right to offend someone who's disabled. Because anywhere where you can find someone has ownership of something that puts them in a position of privilege, you can break those individuals up into 2 separate classes. And the very concept that differentiates them has to be abolished so that those 2 individuals are now the same. We cannot have a rich and a poor. That's not right. So what makes someone rich or what makes someone poor? Well, someone is rich because they have more than what that person owns or what they have. So let's take away the very concept of private ownership in the first place so that the rich man can own nothing and the poor man can own nothing. Therefore, they're the same. What did Klaus Schwab say, the head of the World Economic Forum? You will own nothing and you will like it. So remember, there is no such thing as being able-bodied versus being disabled because, of course, they're all the same. And if you dare say that individual can't participate because they're disabled, motherfucker, you got everybody hooping, they playing ball, nigga come out there in a wheelchair, tell me, okay, nigga, yeah, pick me up. Nigga, I don't want wrong with you, bro. You can't even stand up. Or you discriminating against me, nigga, because I'm in a wheelchair. Well, yeah, motherfucker, because we all able-bodied. Ain't no such thing as able-bodied, nigga. You got to have at least one disabled motherfucker on your team. But what if I don't want to play with him? I want to play with the niggas who can run, they can stand, they can dribble, they can jump, they can shoot. But not with the disabled motherfucker want to play ball too. Now, as a matter of fact, you can't even point out the obvious, which is the fact that this nigga's in a wheelchair.